I never fail. Ever. Why? Because if I try to do something and it doesn't come out the way I want, I don't beat myself up and say, I failed. That was practice. Then you do it again and again and again and again until you get it right. You really only fail when you quit.
Our guest today has earned 16 Lifetime Achievement Awards. He's a New York Times bestselling author, a fellow in the American Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry, and he's also the inventor of Zoom Whitening and the founder of Leap Foundation. Welcome to the show, a humanitarian and philanthropist that has helped raise close to $50 million, Dr. Bill Dorfman.
Thank you, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing really well, man. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here with our audience. Everybody, I want you to be able to check out Dr. Bill. He's all over on social media. He's doing a lot of great things in the media. Those links will be clickable in the show notes. So you don't have to worry about typing it in. Don't have to worry about spelling his last name. It's clickable for you, as well as his website. So are you ready to dive right in?
Let's go.
So I wanted to say this. I love doing this show, and I've had so many different people come from different parts of the world. I know you're coming in from LA, and we're out here in sunny Buffalo, New York, and it's just amazing to meet different people in different parts of the world. But you're actually the first dentist that I've interviewed, and it's much more than your profession that attracted me to you. It's the fact that you've really built a beautiful personal brand, and it's something that I want people in our audience to think about, the fact that if a dentist can build this around his personal brand and really become an outside-the-box thinker. We'll talk about your outside-the-box Oprah story if you'd like to hit on that. But you become this outside-the-box person, and that's inspiring to me because there's so many different ways that you can create success, and you've really chosen this beautiful way to promote yourself, and because it's bigger than you. Can you talk about how you've actually built that over the last not a couple years, it's a couple decades, really?
Yeah. I think we all have to really be introspective at a point in our life and say, what am I about? And my mantra is learn so you can earn and then return. And I'm in the return phase. I have literally had a career that exceeded every expectation I ever had. I never in my life thought I would become like the most famous dentist in the world.
Right.
And I could say that, and you could say, well, that sounds kind of cocky, but you know what? It's actually kind of true. People keep telling me, I'm the only dentist in the world who's been on 2 primetime TV shows, who has a New York Times bestselling book, who has 2 Guinness World Book records, who has 20 Lifetime Achievement Awards, who's raised nearly $50 million for children's charities, who's knighted. I could go on and on and on. And I think the thing that made my career so unique is that I use dentistry as a platform to launch a billion different things. One of my favorite things, I ski a lot. So I have a house in Park City and I go there every other weekend.
Awesome.
And whenever people, you're on the chairlift and, hey, what do you do? I invented Zoom. Like, what? Like, no, I invented Zoom. Like, come on. No, you didn't. I'm like, all right. Zoom tooth whitening, but it was still Zoom. And we were first and they copied my name. I should get a royalty on that. But I love being creative. I love making new things. Our first product was Night White, then Day White, then Zoom, then Bright Smile, and it keeps going. I'm launching 2 new products this year. I'm super excited about. One I have right here. I'll show you. They are called Buzzballs. And this is a caffeinated chewing gum. I love caffeine. I hate coffee. Coffee gives you bad breath. It stains your teeth. My gum gives you fresh breath. We kept eucalyptus oil and thymo oil in it to kill bacteria. It doesn't stain your teeth, and it's karyostatic. It's sweetened with xylitol, so it kills tooth decay. And if you take a no-dose, which is a caffeine pill, takes about 30 minutes. If you chew a no-dose, in 10 minutes, you get a buzz. Well, in the chewing gum, you get a buzz in 10 minutes. And, there are just times in the day when I feel like I need a little pick-me-up. Boom, Buzzballs.
Yeah,
It's
that's awesome. Are those on the market yet?
We are launching very soon.
Cool.
I actually, as soon as we finish our call, I will get the website up and you'll be able to get it on the website. It's buzzballs.com.
Okay.
And we are going to launch with FabFitFun, which you don't know, but every woman listening here does. It's a company that has 1.5 million female subscribers. Every quarter they get a box, and in that box are new products, and usually beauty products or hair products or jewelry things or whatever, but they loved my Buzzballs. So there's going to be 1.5 million women buzzing around the United States.
Dude, that's incredible. Here's the deal. When this comes out, it's going to be a few weeks from when we're recording it, which is middle of March. So like late March, early April, that everything may be live. So if you're listening to this right now, you're driving in your car, when you get the chance, check it out, because Buzzballs may already be out or available or to the next stage.
Yeah, I'll tell you the great thing about Buzzballs. Like, I work out like a maniac every day, right? I hate those energy drinks. They always give me a stomach ache. I just pop a Buzzball. I'm good to go. I literally can lift 10% more weight after I use Buzzballs than before. When you got to do those long drives at night, you're like, it's so much easier to pop in a Buzzball than go find a coffee place and get a cup of coffee.
Right.
And, I mean, it's pretty
well,
amazing.
Hey man, you have a customer here. I drink coffee all the time, and I'm starting to realize I need Zoom whitening. My teeth are starting to really show.
Yeah, you need Zoom and Buzzballs, but I have a new whitening product too. And this one's going to be humongous.
Is that something you can talk about, or you want to save that for a cliffhanger?
I'm gonna do a soft launch on your show. You ready?
Let's do it right now.
All right. Ken Mears lives in my building. I live in a large condominium complex. I'm up here on the 30th floor. I have in a beautiful, beautiful building. And there's a man named Ken Mears who I met who owns Great HealthWorks. Great HealthWorks is a $1 billion company. Their biggest product is called Omega XL. And Ken said, Dr. Bill, create a new whitening product that's take home that we can launch on the market, and we will market the living daylights out of it. So I went back to all my old cronies who worked for me at Discus Dental that are still in whitening. And we started to kind of, look and see what was out there. The number one tooth whitening product on the market today, take home, are Crest White Strips. You've used them, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. I probably use them once. I don't use them.
There's 5 pain points. Number 1, they hurt. Number 2, they taste bad. Number 3, they move around on your teeth. Number 4, at the end of the treatment, you need to take this gross thing out of your mouth. And number 5, they're just not comfortable in your mouth, right? I solved all 5. Have you ever used a Listerine breast strip?
Yeah. Pop it on the top of your mouth.
That is a matrix that's made out of a food-grade quality starch. By balancing the hydrophilicity with how hydrophobic it is, I can get that strip to melt or vanish in 15 minutes. So we made a little strip. We impregnate it with carbamide peroxide, which is the active ingredient in tooth whitening. You stick it on your teeth and it sticks on. It doesn't move. It tastes good. It's completely pain-free. And in 15 minutes, it vanishes. Stains vanish, strip vanishes, and poof, your teeth are white. Pooof whitening strips, spelled with 3 O's, P-O-O-O-F, whitening strips. Why 3 O's? I own everything. All the social, all the meat, everything. Nobody ever spelled poof with 3 O's but me.
With 3 O's.
And one of the things I teach kids at LEAP, and we'll talk about LEAP later, is
Yeah.
Copy Genius. Have you ever seen one of the most popular women's brands in the world called Spanx?
Yeah. Of course.
How's it spelled?
I would think it's going to be with the X on the end. Spank.
Right. Why'd she do that? Because that way she owns everything. And I was listening to her on a podcast talk about that. And I'm like, dude, just add an O to Pooof. So we trademarked it, we own it, and it's going to be launched in about 2 months from today.
Super exciting. I'll say this, Dr. Bill. Usually I don't do too much of the infomercial stuff on the show because it's very story-based content that we're looking to get to. But in this case, it's like, why I love having you on the show is you're relevant. Like you're doing things, you've been building decades worth of an amazing story for yourself and a situation for your family, really, and with Leap Foundation and all this great stuff. But you're not stopping. You're not like, hey, that was pretty cool. I did this. I'm retiring. Like you're still coming up with new products. You're looking to make the things that you've created in the past better. Guys, take notes. He's not done creating. He's still every day doing more and more. And it's not because of himself. I don't want to speak for you, Dr. Bill, but it's because you're serving. You're like, you're making things better for your community.
It's fun. Wait, listen, we grew Discus Dental from 0 to $1.3 billion in sales before we sold it to Philips, right? We sold it in 2010. And everybody said, why don't you retire? I'm like, dude, I hate golf.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Like if you enjoy painting, you're not going to like, when you sell a painting for $1 billion, like you're going to still want to paint. You still want to do your craft.
I love doing cosmetic dentistry, and all of these things I'm doing, it's so fun because all of this helps fund Leap. Leap is a motivational, program for high school and college kids. We do it every summer. It's a nonprofit, but 60% of the kids that come to my program come from impoverished homes. They could never afford to come. They come to the program and I get these amazing speakers. Every single one of my celebrity speakers that I've asked to come speak at Leap does it for free. Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Usher, Michael Strahan, Apollo Ono, Jason Alexander from Sign. I mean, I could go there's 30 of them. Kathy Bates, amazing. I mean, where else is a kid going to meet these kind of people? And not only that, but I'm bringing this year Richard Branson. Usher's coming back. And we teach these kids skills to be successful in life. Mm-hmm. And if you are a parent and you have a student on this, who's 15 to 25, here are the dates. It's going to be July 17th to the 23rd. It's at UCLA. And if your kids can't make it live, guess what? Mm-hmm. It's virtual too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously with the pandemic in 2020, we had to do Leap virtually and we got over 7,000 kids on. And it doesn't cost me anything to put more virtual kids on. It costs me a lot to have their bodies at UCLA. So, one of the things that really helps the program, and again, if you have, listeners who own businesses, it's an amazing thing to give as a gift to an employee. You send your kid to this program and I promise you it changes their life.
Yeah. That's one of the things, Dr. Bill, I love about you is that, again, we could talk about dentistry. We certainly can do that for another half hour. I'm not sure how many people would want to tune into that content, but you have this beautiful thing where you're taking what you've done professionally, and now you're taking it into a whole nother thing with the Leap Foundation of tying it to the heartstrings. You want to help children. You found creative ways to do that. That's what the show is about. Originally, my tagline was to inspire people to be brave and bold in pursuit of their dreams. And when you're doing those inspiring things, it's children too that are tuning in. I certainly hope that there's people that are 12, 14, 18 years old listening to this, ready to get themselves to that next level. And then there could be someone who's 65 listening right now going, yeah, I'm ready to do the next step in my life,
Yeah. And you know what, Mike, I want to share a few things with your listeners because you told me the demographics of who you are. The biggest reason that people don't do things in life is fear of failure, right? If you don't try, you'll never know. But let me kind of give you a mind shift on how you think about failure. I never fail, ever. Why? Because if I try to do something and it doesn't come out the way I want, I don't beat myself up and say, I failed. That was practice. Then you do it again and again and again and again until you get it right. You really only fail when you quit. And I will never quit. I am the most tenacious person you'll ever meet. If I want to do it, I will figure out a way to do it. But here's another thing you have to remember. We have this thing in our mind where we say practice makes what?
Perfect. But
Wrong.
right.
Practice makes permanent.
Yeah.
So if you keep doing the same thing the wrong way, you're never going to get there. When you realize that, get a mentor, go online, do research, but don't keep doing the same thing wrong or you won't succeed. That's the beauty of the information age that we're in today. I mean, when you and I grew up, we didn't have the internet. You know, I mean, we got World Book Encyclopedia, which they updated every 4 years. That was my resource for everything I ever did in college.
I did have it on CD-ROM. I'm a little bit younger than you. We had the CD-ROM version, but not.
You know how old I am?
Yeah. I don't know if it's safe for me to start guessing numbers. If I was to guess and I had money on it, I'm gonna go 52.
63.
Okay, so yeah, I know you're putting time in the gym,
doing,
like you're running.
I just did another shoot for GQ magazine. I think I'm the oldest shirtless guy they ever put in GQ magazine. I do men's health. I mean,
right.
You know, my other mantra: you can rest when you're dead. You know, my kids hate that because like we'll be on vacation.
I'll catch up on sleep when I'm dead.
And they're like, no, we want to sleep.
Guys, go back, listen to that last 5 minutes again. Take away what Dr. Bill just said, because tenacity is the word you used. That's a word how I would identify you. Someone said, tell me about him. Tenacity. Like the reasons that you're getting to this high level of success is not by accident at all. It's all calculated. And one of my favorite quotes is, you either win or you learn, right? You don't lose if you don't win, you learn. In sports, you take all that information, you take it to your next opponent. In business, it's your next sale, it's your next endeavor, whatever it is, your next phone call, and you take it. And if you're not learning, if you're not writing down all the notes that I have here from preparing for this interview, you're not learning, you're not prepared, and you're not executing on it. And you've done that at a high level.
And let me tell you something else. And this is a real, again, mind shift. And I tell kids at Leap this all the time. We compare our deepest, darkest insides to everybody else's bright, sunny outside. You know, you look out like you think, oh, he or she doesn't have a problem in the world. Wrong. We all have crap, right? But we beat ourselves up. We say meaner things to ourselves than we would ever allow anybody to say.
It's Why? So true. Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
You got to talk nice to yourself.
Self-talk is so important.
It's so important.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm going to tell you something else. Stop caring about what other people think or say. It doesn't matter. I need to tell you a story. I was in dental school. One of my great mentors was my grandpa, Arthur. He was a world-class businessman. I mean, that guy could build companies. And there was this guy named John in my dental class. And I just really felt like he didn't like me. Like he would always make like snide remarks and comments. And one day I thought, you know what? I'm just going to like confront him. So I stopped him in the hall. I'm like, John, did I ever do anything to you to upset you? Or nope. I said, I really feel like you don't like me. He goes, yeah, I hate you. And I'm like, wait, what? And I was expecting him to laugh. He goes,
Yeah.
no, I really hate you. I hate the way you look. I hate the way you talk. I hate everything
Wow.
about you. I'm like, well, what did I? He goes, I don't know. I just really hate you. And again, I kept like waiting for him to laugh or something. He didn't.
Yeah.
And it crushed me. It crushed me. And I went home and I called my grandpa. I'm like, Gramps, there's this guy, and I told him the story. And he hates me. He goes, so? I'm like, no, me. Like, I'm not a jerk. I'm always nice to people. He hates me. He goes, so? I'm like, oh, Grandpa, it isn't like he hates the class bully. He hates me. He goes, let me tell you something, son. There will be people in this world that hate you. I'm like, and? I'll just say F them, is what he said.
Exactly.
I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, now, if your brother hates you, you should care. If I hate you, you should care. But if some jerk in your dental school hates you, F him. I'm like, you're right. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got. I mean, look, I'm on social media, and I think I have like 1.3 million followers on Instagram. Once in a blue moon, somebody writes something nasty. You know what I do? Delete.
Yeah.
I don't even read it. As soon as I see that it's negative, I'm like, I don't need to listen to you. I mean, if you can look in the mirror every morning and say, you know what? That guy's okay. It's okay. I've never intentionally tried to hurt anybody. I always try to help people. There are people out there that won't like me. I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't like it, but I can live with it.
Yeah, I know that feeling, man. I remember I worked some odd jobs when I was younger in my early 20s, and there was this one girl. It's like I probably forgot 50 people I've worked with, but this one girl always stands out. And for some reason, and we had to work together in a small environment. I was selling watches at a kiosk in a mall when I was like 16, 17 years old. And for whatever reason, she just would sit, she'd be on her side and I'd be on my side. I have no idea. Never said a negative thing to this person or anything. Same thing, just like that kid in your class. Just she chose to not like me for some reason. And everybody else, I just have a great time. I just pride myself in being fun and easy to get along with and happy. And I never understood it, but it did bother me for a long time until I learned, like your grandpa said, like some people are just going to choose that weird negativity and hate you for some reason. But you have to be, if you're content with yourself and you're doing the right thing, that's all that really matters, right?
Totally.
Yeah. It's not easy to do it, but it's that is a big breakthrough. Hey, we need to get to the break. We're going to set this up for a couple of our sponsors. We're going to take a quick 2 minutes. We'll be back with Dr. Bill right away. Podcasting is a great way to engage with your audience and stay consistently relevant. The only problem is you don't have the time or desire to produce your own show. You simply want it done for you, and that's where Social Chameleon comes in. All you need to do is press record and upload the files. We'll handle the rest. From planning, production, post-production, distribution, and digital marketing, we have you covered. We realize that times are tough and funds are tight, and Social Chameleon believes in building supportive business relationships. By clicking on the link in this promo, we'll provide you 7 free podcasting tips to get started, as well as a free 30-minute online consultation. This is the perfect opportunity for entrepreneurs, keynote speakers, industry experts, influencers, and anybody who has a personal brand. With Social Chameleon, we help you build a brand that is out of this world. We're ready and waiting, so what are you waiting for? Click on the link to get started today. Hey guys, it's Mike. I'd like to give a proper shout out to Navigator Bookkeeping. Look, for a long time, I ran my business without really understanding the full financial picture. I used my gut and my bank account balance to make decisions, which led to some poor choices and constant stress over my business's finances. I knew something needed to change. At the beginning of 2021, I made a decision that helped pave a more clear path for my business. I started working with Navigator Bookkeeping. Since then, my bookkeeping has been handled for me. I now understand the full financial story of my business, making important financial decisions much easier now, and it helps me plan for where my business is going. I highly recommend giving Navigator Bookkeeping an opportunity to help your business. Check them out at navigatingyourbooks.com. Again, that's navigatingyourbooks.com. It's time to know the full financial story of your business. All right, we're back in action with Dr. Bill. You guys can connect with him again on social media. He's all over on social, and his website is also clickable in the show notes, making it really easy to connect. Dr. Bill, one of the things I love about you, in addition to, again, your profession, is this positive mentality that you have. Like, you're coaching people, kids through the LEAP program, people on social media. You become a media outlet. You're like I said, and I really like that. I know Gary Vee talks about it, like, be the mayor in your own town. If you're in small town, wherever, be known as the guy that gives all the information out, and you're the resource. And you've been so much of the resource in cosmetic dentistry, but now you've taken it to like this positive kind of personal brand that you've built. One of the notes I picked up on one of your interviews is that your message is, don't wait for opportunities to come, create them. And then another one is, when you get that opportunity, don't take it, master it. Can you talk about that mentality?
Yeah, there's this mentality. Sorry, millennials, but your generation has this like I'm waiting for the universe to do something for me. I'm going to give you a little news flash. The universe is really busy. Have you looked at Kiev lately? I mean, the universe does not care about you. You need to care about you. Every great opportunity I have in life, I created. It didn't like fall on my lap. I was like my friend was walking down the street and a modeling agency scouted him. And next week he's in Milan walking runways and making like thousands of thousands. That never happened to me. Everything I got in my life, I fought for. And when you do get an opportunity, don't take it, master it. When ABC gave me the opportunity to be on Extreme Makeover, it was one of the first reality shows, not home edition, people edition, right? It was one of the first reality shows. And, the dentistry I was very comfortable with because I had been practicing for 20 years at the time.
Right.
But TV, not so much. Mm-hmm. And, when I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes of that show, I stunk. Like, I literally thought they're going to fire me. That's how bad I am. But instead of waiting to get fired, I was proactive. I took acting classes, hosting classes, teleprompting classes. Dude, I can read a teleprompter so well, you don't even know I'm reading it. It looks like I'm just saying, I practiced and practiced and practiced. I did mock interviews. I did everything I could do. And little by little, I got comfortable. I got so comfortable that by the second season, I produced all of my own segments on Extreme Makeover. And I saved the studio millions of dollars. I mean, it's crazy.
You were kind of taking your own direction on it as far as where you felt you wanted to take it. And they were like, okay, sounds good, Bill.
I'll never forget. There was this one young woman named Katie from Canada. And this was the first big surgery case we did. She had what's called a class 3 malocclusion, meaning her lower jaw came out like this, right?
Yeah.
And in my very first interview with her, on camera, she's crying, saying, people tease me. They tell me I look like a bulldog and all this, right? So we did surgery. We moved her jaw back. I did porcelain veneer. I mean, she looked amazing. So we get to the big reveal date and the cameras are zooming in. And, I said, hey, Katie, take a look at yourself. This is right after I put her veneers and everything. And she holds up the mirror. She's like, wow. I'm like, cut. And the cameraman's like, what? I said, hold on a minute. I go downstairs and I got her profile pictures with her jaws. And I said, Katie, do you remember this? And I see her eyes start welling up. I said, action. Because she had already gotten so comfortable with the way she now looked that she kind of forgot. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't emote and show the audience what really went on in her life, it's a flop. I mean, the whole piece has no meaning, you know? And so just from doing TV that much, I kind of figured out like how to make what they call good TV. It wasn't like I wanted to make her cry, but I did. I wanted to make her.
I mean, that was
like,
the appropriate
show the
emotion. You were
emotions.
looking for the appropriate emotion that took it to the next level.
Yeah.
Guys, are you listening to this? Like, do you know how good this is right now? By the way, that was in my notes. Like, I was going to ask you about how you prepared because I know you took acting classes. Like, there's going to be people in the audience right now that are like, that's where I know this guy from Extreme 8. Like, they finally hit him like a brick. Yeah, like go back, guys, and check out these episodes.
But let me tell you, one of the greatest tips I can give your audience, and this is something I tell my kids at Leap all the time. 2 words: copy genius. When I started practicing dentistry and I came to Beverly Hills, you think they need another cosmetic dentist in Beverly Hills? Heck no.
No.
What'd I do? I called the 5 most successful cosmetic dentists. I said, look, I just graduated dental school. I'd love to come and observe you. And I went in and I shadowed these guys. And I didn't do it like most students. You know, a lot of students come and they shadow me in my practice. They come in, they watch me drill a few teeth, they leave.
Yeah.
That's what I did, man.
No impression. Yeah.
I came 10 minutes early. I wanted to see how the patients came into the practice, how they were greeted. What are the intake forms? How did they discuss the treatment? How did they bring them to the treatment room? How did they present the treatment? How did they go over the finances? Then how did they deliver the dentistry? And then how did they excuse the patient, get paid, and set up the next visit? And I did this for 1 week in each of these 5 practices. And within 1 year, my practice was twice as busy as all of theirs, because we took the best from every one of those practices and put it in my practice. If you come into my practice and I meet every expectation you have, you walk out happy. If I exceed them, on average, you'll tell 10 people. And now with social media, that could be hundreds or thousands of people. And that's what we did. I didn't want you to come and just go to the dentist. I wanted you to come in and have a great experience in my office.
Yeah, it's a world-class experience. That's why I'm wearing this. The new branding is be great. It's not be average, not be okay, not be half-assed. Be great and be grateful. Like you do that. You're looking for that. I love that, man. Like I've heard that before from a couple other people that talk about the need of getting mentorship. But you, like, I don't know where did that come from? Are you just that smart of a guy where you're like, I'm just going to interview the top 5 people? Or was that your grandpa helping you out when you were young? Like, what is it?
You know, it's crazy. People always, would say like, how did your parents instill? My parents had no idea, like none.
Right. You came from a humble beginning. Talk about it. I mean, you did not, this was not created for you. You came from pretty humble beginnings.
This is how, look, I grew up in one of the most loving families ever. I was truly blessed. But like when I got accepted to UCLA and the letter came in the mail, we're sitting at dinner and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I got into UCLA. They're like, oh, sweetie, that's great. They had no clue. I even applied. Like, I feel like when my kids got into college, I got in with them. I wrote their essays, right? I mean, like, I feel like I just graduated from 3 colleges too.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite one.
That's awesome.
So it's the week before graduation or 2 weeks before graduation. I get a phone call. We didn't even have cell phones yet. I happened to be in my dorm room from the chancellor's office. Bill Dorfman, we'd like to congratulate you. You are going to be the outstanding senior for the class of 1980. I'm like, whoa. So hang up the phone, call Mom and Dad. Dad answers like, Dad, put Mom on the other phone. I want you both to hear this. They're both on the phone. I'm like, Mom, Dad, you won't believe what just happened. They're like, wait, I just got called from the dean's office. Like, I'm going to be outstanding senior for the class of 1980. My mom says, what's not to believe? I'm like, Mom, no, there are 10,000 people graduating.
Yeah.
She says, darling, you think there's somebody better? I'm like, no, Mom, There's
Yeah.
10,000 people. Like, they picked
That's
me.
funny. Yeah,
She
yeah.
says, of course they picked you. I
Wow.
mean, that's the
Yeah,
mentality.
yeah.
So then we go to this big, like, black tie dinner. My mom goes, hey, this is really special, huh? I'm like, Mom, that's what I've been telling you. Like, seriously, my parents had no clue. My family life was amazing, but we were broke as broke could be. We had, I mean, I I started working at age of 5 and I never stopped. I pulled weeds in the neighborhood until I was old enough to babysit. And then after I could babysit, I did that until I could work at Ralph's, the grocery market. And then after Ralph's, I worked at Swenson's where I could be a ice cream server. And then all through UCLA, I worked as an escort for the university and I would drive dignitaries around, when I was in debt. I mean, I've worked my entire life. Nobody ever gave me anything except the UCLA Alumni Association. And I thank them wholeheartedly. They gave me a scholarship to that school. But if I had not received that, I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now.
Yeah, you have a gift and you have this desire, this obsession in a good way for excellence. And it sounds like you had it when you were pulling weeds. You weren't going to leave
Yeah.
there until you did a great job that day, right? I mean, like that
I'll
was
tell you something else. I was a really weird kid. Like, I came home from kindergarten my first day, and my mom and dad said I was Billy then. Billy, how was school? I said, school was okay, but the kids in my class are so immature. I was 5. Who says that at 5?
They weren't resonating. The 5 people closest to you already were looking to level up.
then a year later, I'm 6. And I came home and I told my parents I wanted to have a conference with them. Like, most 6-year-olds don't even know what a conference is. So I sat them down in the living room and I said, I know how to read. And they're like, yes, you do. And you do it well. I said, therefore, I don't think I need to go to school anymore. I'll just read everything. They're like, no, you still need to go. I was like, okay. So I did. And then just recently, I asked my mom and dad something. I said, I have a really weird question to ask you. I mean, because, our memories, I'm 63 now, I said, I don't ever remember getting in trouble as a kid. And I actually asked my parents that. I'm like, Mom, Dad, did I ever get in trouble for anything as a kid? They're like, yeah, no. I'm like, anything? They're like, no. I said,
How many
did I ever
brothers and sisters do you have?
Oh, they got in trouble. I
Are
was
you
the oldest
are
of
you the
5.
youngest? You're the
I was
oldest?
the oldest of 5.
Wow, so
Yeah.
you set the tone and they had it pretty good with you. And then
They were all actually really good except for Gary. Gary had to go into the garage a few times.
Oh boy. Yeah,
and get a spanking. But no, I never got in trouble. I just kind of always did what I was supposed to do, or else, I don't know. I just figured that was the path of least resistance,
Yeah. Well, I've interviewed so many incredible people, over 125 guests, and there are all these incredible stories. And there's like something about you, Dr. Bill. You got that like it factor. I'm going to say this, and I want you to take it, and I mean this. You're like the Michael Jordan of your profession. You're the Michael Jordan. And I know, you don't need to hear that. You don't need the pat on the back, but guys tuning in, if you're not familiar with what he's doing, check out his Instagram. You're going to understand why I say that. What he's doing is just on a different level. Okay. There's being good, there's being great. And then there's a different level. And you're absolutely doing that. I want you to tell a couple more quick stories while I have you. I got you captive for a couple minutes here. 10, 10, 10. All right. That 10 number means a lot to you. Talk about what happened on October 10th of 2010 at 10 a.m.
Wow, you do good research. So we grew Discus Dental from 0 to, like I said, $1.3 billion in sales. And, we started off our first year, we did 2 million, 4 million, 8 million, 16 million. And we kept growing. We kind of plateaued around 2003 at about 76 million. We couldn't break that barrier. That year I get on Extreme Makeover. We did 101 million. The next year we did 136. The third year of the show, we did almost $200 million in sales. And we grew this company, and we thought, it's time to sell. I mean, I always said to my partner, and it's so funny, I just got a phone call from Robert Heyman. He was my partner and my best friend. And as we were talking, we had to stop for a second, which is crazy. But I said to my partner, I said, listen, if somebody invents a pill that instantly makes your teeth white, we're out of business. Let's sell. He goes, you're right. So we waited until our earnings, our EBITDA was high enough. We sold for a multiple about 8 or 9 times our EBITDA. And it was a 1-year process, which culminated in a sale to Phillips on 10/10/10 at 10 a.m. And the reason that that's so significant to me, and I keep this little thing on my phone, I took this off so we could use my phone, of course, is that at Leap, I always tell the kids when they get there, the first hour, I do this talk with them called the 10 Talk.
Yeah.
And I always say, when you woke up this morning, you put a number on your head. 1's the lowest, 10's the highest. I said, how many of you did not put a 10 on your head? And they kind of sheepishly raise their hands. And I'm like, who picked the number? You. Why would you pick anything lower than a 10? I said, wipe it off and put a 10 on there. And from now on, I want you to walk like a 10, talk like a 10, act like a 10, but most importantly, surround yourself with other 10s. Because if you're trying to be a 10 and all your friends are 2s, guess what happens?
You become a 5.
Or a 3. And I'll tell you something. I don't care who you think our maker is. That maker never said, I'm going to make this one a 2 and this one a 1. We all have the potential to be 10s in our own way. And so we have this thing called the 10 culture. And then just serendipitously, we sell my company on 10/10/10 at 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Dude, that is a mic drop moment real quick. Guys, what he just said about being a 10 when you look yourself in the mirror and it's your decision, that I got goosebumps just thinking about that, Dr. Bill. I'm going to be thinking of that every day the rest of my life when I look myself in the mirror. Be a 10 because it's your choice.
That's what you got to do. And I'll tell you one of the craziest things is a lot of the kids that come to my Leap program, it's the first time ever that anybody has ever told them they're a 10. Yeah. And the reason why Leap works is this. I have 3 daughters, right? If I tell them to do something, they're not going to do it. Now, if you're an expert in the field and you tell them to do something, they might do it. But guess what happens if 10 of their girlfriends tell them to do something?
Oh, man, it had already happened. It's right in the process. Yeah.
So we put kids in a group with 10 of their peers, and they stay in this group throughout Leap. And when Leap is over, they stay with these kids via Zoom or whatever for the next year or so. And that's why the program works.
That's so good, man. That is so impactful. That is. I have a 7-year-old daughter, beautiful daughter, Isabel. I'm going to be teaching her a lot of these principles that we talked about today. Last question. It's not meant to be a curveball at all. I'd love you to articulate this as much as you'd like. But, I know you're actually an author. You're a New York Times bestseller, so you've actually done that. But I want you to think about it this way. You're the author and protagonist in your own life story, and you get to write the ending. God willing, you continue to live a long, prosperous life. You're looking back, you're reflecting on it. You get to define your legacy. What would that be?
I had a teacher in high school who said, if you leave this earth without having made it a better place, shame on you. No shame.
Yeah, that's it, man.
I just hope that, when I'm done here, the things that I've worked toward has made an impact and made the world a better place.
a lot lately, I've said this at the end of my episodes because I've had some really tremendous guests on that when they answer that, that's the one question I kind of keep the same because I love to hear people talk about where they want to go with the rest of their life. And I've had so many times where I'm saying, you're doing it already. I mean, you are not only doing it already, like it's at that level. And I really appreciate you sharing a lot of this stuff about your story and the mindset and the mentality, because that's really what this podcast is all about. It's the mindset. It's realizing you're a 10, acting like a 10, and bringing other people up around you to be a 10. And I really want to do that to the world. So you're inspiring me first and foremost as your first audience member today. I know anybody who's tuning into this, whether it's the week it comes out or 2 years from now, brother, you're impacting people in a big way. And I love what you're doing with the LEAP program. Any last words you got before you head out?
Yeah, I also have a podcast. It's called Meet the Mentor. And I've interviewed all of these amazing people that I mentioned earlier, Mark Wahlberg, Anthony Hopkins, Eva Longoria, Kathy Bates, and on and on and on. You can find it wherever podcasts are. And I'd love for, your listeners to listen to your podcast and mine. Some of the stories from these people are so incredible. And, I feel so fortunate to be able to, where am I going to meet these kinds of people? Elon Musk. Yeah. I mean, these people, like, as a dentist, I get to meet some really incredible people. When I hear their stories, I just want to share it with the world too. So like you, I want to make an impact. And, if your listeners want to listen to ours, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that it's gonna resonate with them, and I'll be tuning in myself. So this is a really special interview for me, one I'll always remember, and I'm grateful for your time. I say it, man, to everybody: be great and be grateful. I know you're doing your part. Thank you, Dr. Bill Dorfman, for being on the show today.
Thank you, Mike. Over and out.
I'd like to give a huge shout out to everyone for tuning in, especially those who listen all the way to the end to hear this message. Seriously, I appreciate you, and my guests do as well. Giving a quick reminder to subscribe to this show. It's completely free and will allow you to receive notifications when new episodes are released. If you'd like to provide a tip as a gift, you can do so via patreon.com/mikedup. It's spelled MIKED up. Patreon.com/mikedup. You can give as little as $1 per month or as much as you'd like. Every dollar is greatly appreciated and completely unexpected. Appreciate your reviews and your messages coming in on social as well. Keep them coming. Your feedback is valuable and absolutely means the world to me. You can check out more episodes and content at mikeduppodcast.com. We're powered by Social Chameleon. You can also follow me on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active, and it's at Mike DiCioccio, MikeDiCioccio. Thank you so much for your continued support. You guys know what to do. Be great and be grateful.